What is the one thing that keeps people, stuck? What keeps them from hitting, 7 figures? The one thing you have to have, like, you cannot generate 6 figures per month and ultimately 7 figures per year if you do not have this, which is Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure online life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, but I would not have gotten to this place, particularly 7 figures, because when you think about it, for those of you who hear that term thrown around and you're like, what in the world, 7 figures? It just means $1 million, right? You've done $1 million or more in your business. I did my first $1 million year last year. And in order to do that, typically you need to generate around $83,000 a month, which I know sounds crazy. A lot of people would be happy to make $83,000 a year. So to do that every single month for 12 months in a row is insane. But for me, my sights is really just on hitting $100,000 a month, which now is kind of like our baseline revenue, like at the minimum, but really we seek to do multi 6 figures per month, and to be on pace to do 7 figures, and then of course multi 7 figures a year. And so I was really thinking about this in terms of what is it that keeps people, what is it that kept me, right? Because quiet as it's kept, for several years I was at the 6-figure and multiple 6-figure level, but I really wanted to get to 7 figures and ultimately multiple 7 figures. What is the one thing that keeps people, stuck? What keeps them from hitting, 7 figures or $100,000 or more every single month? And what's the one thing that you need? And so I said, I'll do a video on it. And very simply, out of everything, and you need a lot of things, but the one thing you have to have, like, you cannot generate 6 figures per month and ultimately 7 figures per year if you do not have this, which is a strong offer. A strong offer. And again, I say this from personal experience because I was the queen, and I'm still kind of the queen of this because I love it. But I was the queen of multiple different courses and programs. I enjoy coming up with new ideas, new content. And so I had a lot of like small dollar courses and low ticket programs earlier on in my career. And even now, if you go on my website, I have, a smattering of low ticket things on there. But my business really took off when I dialed in and was able to create a strong offer. And so if you don't know my offer, it's actually called the Next Big Name Bootcamp, which is my A to Z program that shows you how to become the next big name in your niche by building a profitable brand truly from scratch. And lately we've turbocharged that offer by including my brand new accredited CLS coaching certification on top of it. So not only can you build an amazing coaching brand, but we'll even certify you with an accredited coaching program, and we will even show you how to create your own coaching methodology. So it truly is top notch. But even before we added the certification on it, I did over $1 million just in that single program. I did $500,000 in that single program in 1 week. So I'm not telling you something that I heard or something that I read in a book. I'm telling you something that I know, the power of having a singular strong offer. And yes, you can have multiple strong offers, but to start, you want to really have one strong offer. And I find that that is what so many entrepreneurs, so many online coaches are missing, especially when they're looking to really scale in their business and hit that 7 figures. They don't have that one core offering or product in their business that can just blow their business up. And so this should be obvious when we think about it in different business contexts. I mean, I think about even Apple, right? For a while, the iPhone was like the killer product, in Apple's product suite. And then they had the iPad, right? The MacBook. Well, actually, at first it was the iPod. That's what it was. The iPod was like the core offer, right? And then from there, the iPhone, and then the iPad, and I would even say, AirPods, obviously the MacBook. So they keep coming out with strong offer after strong offer, but they really started with that one offer. I mean, obviously they had computers and different things before the iPod, but the iPod really catapulted them to the level that they are now. And then the iPhone just just took the industry over. And so you want to think about your business the same way. What is that one thing, even if you have a variety of different coaching programs or courses or other offerings in your business, what is that one offer that you can come up with that'll really just change the game for you. And I say this because not enough coaches, I think, pay attention to this, especially not enough life coaches, which is something that I help life coaches and really any type of coach, but especially life coaches, do in my coaching certification program. In fact, that's why we focus so strongly on helping you identify your niche and then helping you come up with your own coaching methodology, specifically so that you can stand out from the industry and come out with a very unique offer that will be kind of like your core offer. Before life coaches, especially, I also call it my touchy-feely coaches, right? So purpose coaches, you know, health and life and love and wellness, like all the amazing soft things that sometimes people coach on. While it's fine to be in that arena, they don't have a really core, strong offering though, that someone in their target market is like looking for right now. And so one of the key things to a strong offer is you wanna make sure that it is something that people are actively looking for, even if they're not actively looking for it in the mode of which you're gonna offer it. So again, going back to that Apple example, thinking about the iPod was really the first of its kind. Yes, there were MP3 players that were out, but in general, the market was looking for a way to carry multiple songs with you or carry a large library of music with you. Remember the CD-ROM, the Sony disc, right? And you had like the single disc and then the over headphones. I am aging myself. I'm an elder millennial. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Gen Z. You guys don't even know what CDs are, right? But back in the day, people used to have to put CDs in those little CD players with the headphones. You could only listen to one song at a time. And so again, while there were other MP3 players that were out, they were clunky. It was very difficult to like transfer the music, and you know, you had to buy whole albums. And so the iPod and iTunes really revolutionized this idea that you could have 1,000 songs in your pocket and that you didn't have to buy a whole album. You could just buy, you know, a singular song. And so you want to think about that in your coaching offers as well. What is it in general that the target market that you are speaking to, like what is it that they want, right? So, you know, Steve Jobs is like, I know that they wanted a lot of, you know, music that they could listen to at any one time, right? Henry Ford, he often says, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, right? But they wanted the ability to travel faster to where they were going. And at the time it was on horseback until he really revolutionized, you know, the automobile that the average family person could own that was, you know, manufactured on an assembly line. So again, you'll want to get to the core of what is it that people want. And then you want to ask yourself, what is unique about you or your process so that you can come up with a unique way to ultimately give them what they want, but in a way that they have never seen before, right? So people had never seen the iPhone before, you know, the Model T Ford card, right? They had never seen before. When people land on your offer, will they say they've never seen that before, right? And so for me, again, I was really clear on how can I create an offer that doesn't depend on you having a brand, doesn't depend on you knowing your niche. We're gonna teach you how to do all of those things, but even the way that we structured it, I have a team of instructional designers that we're gonna do this to structure it so that, you know, adults could learn this and that they would really get the information. It was gonna be highly produced with, you know, professionally shot videos in a studio. I'd have a team of coaches, and even now with our certification program, we're doing it fast, right? You can get your certification in about 90 days or so, you know, 4 months tops. We're gonna have, you know, PhDs. Yes, I have a team of PhD coaches that help me coach in that program. Again, it's done via an instructional design. And again, we teach you how to create your own coaching methodology, which I haven't heard any program, accredited or not, teach their coaches how to do that. Typically, they only teach you how to learn their methodology, but they don't teach you how to come up with your own methodology so that you can really stand out from the crowd. So again, that's me putting on my innovator's hat and saying, how can I ultimately provide people what they're looking for, but do it in a really unique way that perhaps has not been seen before? Again, ditto with Apple and the iPod, ditto with Henry Ford and the Model T car. You want to think about this for yourself. How can you come up with a strong offer? And then also, for it to truly be a strong offer, it has to be at a strong price point. And so it's got to be at a strong price point for both you and your client. Now, oftentimes we think a strong price point is the low price point, but that is often not the case. You would be amazed at how many people are actually overlooking your core offer because you're not charging enough for it. You're so like, oh my goodness, I have to charge the lowest price because I want them to buy it, not realizing that your target market is already thinking in a certain price point because of the other offerings that they are looking at, right? If someone is looking for a designer purse per se, they're already willing to spend at a minimum several $100s, but probably in the low thousands, right? So if you come in with your designer bag and it's $50, people aren't gonna believe that it's actually a designer bag, because people who are in that market know that designer bags cost several $100s at the low end, typically in the low thousands. And so you'll wanna make sure that your offer is a strong price point, in the sense that it is within the band or within the realm of what people are expecting for the type of offering that you're doing. But it also needs to be a strong price point for you, in the sense that you can really grow and scale your company. And so this is the really key thing about having a strong offer, and why it ultimately leads to $100,000 per month and more, even $1 million months when you really have this dialed in, is because it gives you the margin to really invest in your business and really invest in your team. And this is the biggest thing that I see a lot of online entrepreneurs, but especially online coaches, miss. One, they don't have a core offer. They just have a bunch of little small, low ticket things. So they never really get any traction. But even if they have that offer, they're not charging enough for it, and they don't have the volume necessary in order to make the numbers that they are charging work. And so they don't have enough margin to start to invest in other people to help them grow their business. You all know by now, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, I have a whole team working with me, right? I have project managers, executive assistants, online business managers, instructional designers. Now I have a team of coaches. Again, these are PhDs that I've hired to help me coach inside of my programs. I have accountability coaches, learning support directors, right? Like, we have whole, roles to support not just me, but our clients, which makes the outcomes that much better for the clients. They get the results, we get the testimonials, and it just becomes this beautiful like flywheel of increased sales, because again, we're getting increased results for our clients. But that wouldn't have happened had I not invested very heavily in my business by hiring really talented people who can support me. And I would have never had the funds to hire talented people who can support me and my clients had I not made sure that my strong offer was priced appropriately. So keep that in mind when you were thinking about your strong offer. But I don't see a lot of videos of people talking about this, but this is the number one thing that I found that you need to have in your business if you dream of hitting 6 figures a month and ultimately 7 figures a year. So hopefully this was really helpful to you. If it was, you are definitely gonna love, again, my coaching certification program, especially combined with the Next Big Name. It's super, super powerful. It's like my jumbo program to help you go from like, I don't even know how to coach, to having one of the top coaching brands in the industry. So if you're interested in that, you're interested in getting certified, and you're interested in getting an accredited coaching certification so that you can be the next big thing in your industry, make sure you click the link below in order to learn more about it. You can apply if interested, and if accepted, someone on my enrollment team will schedule a call with you where we'll walk you through the entire process. But if you love this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next video, make sure you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram and TikTok. Yes, I'm actually on TikTok. My username is CourtneyLSanders on both, so find me on whichever platform you prefer. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.